This video is mostly going to be to concentrate on the new clock I'm building. It's going to be based off of the propeller chip, which I think I'm going to be using for the timing. Even though it's like 2 seconds off, I was thinking about putting one of those watch quartz crystals in here, but I was reading that there may be some problems with the capacitance of the, I think it's a 32 point something kilohertz crystal that would be in place instead of the 5 megahertz. But honestly, I can live with 2 seconds off a day that the propeller chip could be off by. That's why I'll be including something to increment the seconds and decrement the seconds. So if I just hold this button down, it increases in wrong button, increases in time or decreases in time, so I can change it. So that way, after about a month or so or a couple weeks, I can literally just change the minutes back to where they need to go. It's really dull right now because I'm just running it all through the same resistor just to make it simple to get it done. So this should increase it, and then this button should decrease it. So it should be really forward. One of the problems I have with the current clock is the buttons only count up direction, and that can be a real pain. I can't make it go down, which is would be nice to be able to do, to make it go down if I could, but the current clock is done with decade counters, 4017s, and they only count up. So one of the things I was going to do is, right now this is the 4511, which is a 7-segment display decoder driver, and it's hooked to the propeller, which is actually counting in binary. And I've never done anything with binary before, so I'm trying to learn how to do that. I had some interesting coding funny things happen. Like, this would only count in odds, like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then restart. When I would do something in the repeat loop, like tell it to count from repeat while what was it, out A, and then in parentheses I would have MSB, most significant bit, ... least significant, LSB, least significant bit, is equal from, and then I'd have it count from 0 to 9, but it would just, like, it would count in odds, 1, 3, and then I tried 0 to 10, and then it would just count by even. So some really odd things was going on with the code. I have no idea why that was. So I changed it to basically something I saw from Gadget Gangster, that they would, if the if the binary count is 10, then it's equal to 0, and that seemed to work. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the timing later on, and if it's going to make it slower or faster. But like I said, I can control the digits here, and this is just experimental code. Obviously I wouldn't want to control the seconds. This would be like the minute hand through the weeks and months that would be affected. So let's make it go down. It's counting down. Now I'm going to make it count up. Okay, there it is. So that's what's going on. I'm afraid that I'm going to have to either run all cogs, if I choose to just use the 4511 chip and have the cogs just run all the binary cables to the chips. But the other thing I might have to do, because this IC is a 4029, which is a decade up or down counter, but it has a carry pin and a carry in and a carry out. So I might have to use it, but it counts in binary also. I might have to use this chip as my initial start chip, and then run the binary to the 4511, which is a segment 7-segment driver, and then have that drive, and then use these chips to carry over to all the minutes, the seconds, and the hours and stuff. And I'll be making like a 12-hour clock. And here's the big gigantic 6.5-inch 7 segments that I'll be powering. There you can see that they're there's a little standard one. They're completely monstrous, which will be just fun to have. And then here's the other project here that I had to give up on a little bit. It's the G-force thing for the Shelby Cobra. This one works, but it's somebody else's code. And I think it's Dr. Allen's code, who wrote some of the sensors books for parallax. But X, Y, negative. This is turning left or right, accelerating, decelerating, and they see that works. And this is the SparkFun 7-segment serial display driver. I hooked it up to try and talk to it serially through the RX pen and I tried to use double duplex, dual duplex to communicate with it like it was an LCD, but it didn't work out, unfortunately. So I think that battery's dying, and I didn't have any luck with that. So I'm gonna have to learn more about that before I continue. I could use this one; it works. Just kind of a bummer. It's not my code. I'd like to learn how to do that. The math is pretty involved, and there's some other involved techniques used to make it work. There's a couple of different approaches, it looks like, to making this work. So I just need more time, so I'm just going to work on the clock and go with that. All right, thanks.